Welcome to this edition of the WFL Update. I am your host, Kyle Walsh. This week we will hear from Dr. Matthew Mayo as he gives us an update on this week's injuries, and Jaimie and I will give you our predictions as to who we think will win. Now let's get on to this week's top games. After a wild and crazy Week 6 in the WAFL, all 16 teams have to turn it around and hit the field again in a crucial Week 7, in which 4 teams are tied for second in the West and 4 teams are tied for third in the East. The Osaka Shoguns have to have a quick memory. A 5-day turnaround due to Japan. The Shoguns play the Los Angeles Immortals, who they edged 33-30 back in opening week. The Shoguns got 500 yards out of Pyatt in Week 6, putting him over the 2,000 mark after 6 games, but still lost in a devastating overtime game to the Spartans. Los Angeles has improved, winning 2 of their last 3. This should be another offensive war as both teams rank in the top 5 in points per game and yards per game. The difference this game, however, will be if the Shoguns can stop the run. They've allowed 200 rushing yards in the last 2 weeks, and the Immortals' run game, third in the WAFL, sports Dante Hool. One thing's for sure, both these teams have had their fair share of close calls this year. The Corsairs have flown under the radar because of some of the rocky performances, but Queen City allows just 12 points per game, best in the league. Allows the least amount of yards and ranks second in the run defense. That doesn't bode well for the ailing Diablos, who, while first in the West, are without their best player, Michael O'Connor, for at least the remainder of the regular season. No one really knows how the Diablos plan to adjust this game, but at least the Diablos have the home ground to their advantage. Las Vegas is one of only 2 teams this year without a loss at home. The Cincinnati Sentinels and Boston Maulers have had completely different problems through the first third of the season. But one thing is the same about these 2 Eastern Conference teams. They are both 3-3, just desperate for a win. In a jumbled up East, this game could be huge down the stretch. The Sentinels are without Paul Young, but got good production from backup Joe Sloan in Week 6, and he is going to start for Week 7. Boston, on the other hand, has gotten pretty bad offensive production numbers and have been unable to get Bam Bam Thunderman going all year. The Sentinels and Maulers are 15th and 16th on third down conversions, so whoever can stay on the field longer will be crucial. In Week 7, game of the week, the Louisville Wolfpack hosts the Minnesota Spartans in a Midwest divisional clash. The winner of the game will not only own the tiebreaker of the other until the next meeting, but will also control their destiny in the Midwest Division race that at the moment only includes the Spartans and the Wolfpack. This matchup is all about Louisville's defense versus Minnesota's offense. The Spartans sport the 4th best running game and the 5th best passing game, while the Wolfpack are 3rd in the WFL in the league in run defense and 5th in total offense. And now here's our injury report with WAFL medical consultant Dr. Matthew Mayo.
Hi, this is WAFL medical consultant Dr. Matthew Mayo, and this is your Week 7 injury update. Early reports on Paul Young's broken tibia are positive. The team's medical staff was relieved to find that Young's injury will not require surgery. He's been spotted in a wheelchair around Cincinnati practice facility in a large cast. Although Young cannot practice, he has been spending a lot of time watching film, studying the Sentinel playbook, as well as breaking down his own play. Head coach Paul Crew hopes that Young can take this time to gain a better understanding of the offense, and hopefully regain his status as Mr. Perfect upon his return. Cleveland's Johnny Hoffman remains out with a strained Achilles. His presence was sorely missed this week as the Stallions were unable to stretch the Corsairs' defense. Rookie standout Cookie Johnson faced double teams most of the afternoon and was held to 2 receptions. Quarterback Matt Saracen does not appear to have much chemistry with any of the other Cleveland receivers, and owner Ronnie Nickens hopes that a healthy Hoffman can get back on the field sooner rather than later. Los Angeles running back Vincent Lawson remains out with a low back strain. His spasms continue to persist, and the Immortals are rumored to be seeking a second opinion on this injury. Stay tuned for more info. On the last offensive play for the Diablos this week, quarterback Michael O'Connor went down awkwardly from a hit following an incomplete pass. Although he was able to leave the field under his own power, post-game tests revealed fractured ribs for the Las Vegas star QB. it is uncertain when he will return. Some rumors suggest he may be out the entire season. Injuries to the chest and ribs specifically can be tricky for quarterbacks. These injuries can be quite painful, and breathing alone can be excruciating. It will be interesting to note the route that the Diablos take for the upcoming weeks. Sources close to the team have told me that Las Vegas has internally discussed trades, with Queen City backup Nate Kemp possibly being at the top of that list. If Vegas decides not to move, the question if current backup Lawrence Price can keep the 5-1 Diablos at the top of the Pacific. This will be an interesting story to watch. Osaka wide receiver Zach Clark's injury appears to be more severe than originally thought. Although Osaka has yet to release any concrete information, it seems that Clark is likely to miss upwards of 5 or more games. Breaking news from Philadelphia, running back Eric Reed has been a full participant at practice. This is good news for an anemic Iron offense. In this weekend's game, the Iron were only able to manage 210 yards of total offense, and recently acquired running back Phil Proctor was also ineffective. The lack of Reed's powerful running style and ability to change the pace of the game put far too much pressure on Inferno's shoulders, resulting in a one-dimensional offensive scheme. If Reed can get healthy, look for him to possibly have a big week versus the Hornets. St. Louis wide receiver Kyle Van Gerven may still be a bit banged up. However, he has been practicing, and we may see him on the field this weekend versus Philly. St. Louis cornerback Kevin Taylor's season is officially over. While on his recent trip to Alabama, orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews confirmed what Hornet fans feared. There appears to be a minor nerve damage that will require surgery. Taylor has yet to specify where he will have the surgery performed and how this may affect his future in the WAFL. We here at WAFL Update Studios wish him the best and look forward to seeing him back in a Hornets uniform next season. I am WAFL medical consultant Dr. Matthew Mayo, and this has been your Week 7 Injury Update. Back to you, Kyle.
As part of WFL Media, here are our picks for Week 7. First game of the week is Delaware at Baltimore.
Delaware seems to be doing pretty well, so I'm going to go Delaware.
I, too, will be going with Delaware.
Next, we have Edmonton at Chicago.
I just feel bad for Chicago.
Why is that?
They just can't ever get anything going. Last week, they got more offense than Delaware, more yardage, but they still didn't win.
Well, yeah, that's the way it crumbles, isn't it?
Sometimes it's just how it works. I'm going to go with Edmonton this week, though.
Me as well.
I just think they're on a hot streak.
I agree. Next, we have St. Louis at Philadelphia. I'm going to go with Philadelphia, though, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to go with St. Louis just because of the fact that they're getting better.
Yeah, they're getting better, but I still think Philadelphia is going to win.
I agree.
We have Cincinnati at Boston.
I think that's going to be a good game. But I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati. I just don't think that Boston is doing well at all this year. And I just don't think...
Yeah, they just can't get their offense going at all.
No, not at all. And I just don't think that they're going to be able to win against Cincinnati. I think that after seeing the game last week, that I think Cincinnati has found a good flow for Sloan. And I think that they're going to do good. So I think Cincinnati's going to win that.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati as well. They seem, even though they lost their star quarterback, like you said, it just looks like they found something that works for them right now.
We have Los Angeles at Osaka.
A rematch of a close game earlier in this season. Osaka won, and I think they'll win again.
I have to agree with you. I know that they had a really hard loss last week, but
yeah, Pyatt threw for 500 yards.
Yeah, I don't see them losing to Los Angeles. I think that they're the better team here.
Cleveland at Sterling.
That's a hard one. I actually think Sterling's going to win this.
I'm going to go with Cleveland this week.
Okay.
I think Cleveland's going to win.
All right, so we got Minnesota at Louisville. Game of the week.
Game of the week. Should be a good game.
Yep.
Personally, I don't think Minnesota should have won last week with a stupid call that put them in the overtime. But that's all right. I'm going to go with Louisville.
I am going to go with Minnesota. They did a really good game last week. Price,
Well, take away that one, 74-yard run that he had,
and
he didn't really have that great of a game.
That's true. But
I mean, it was good, but it wasn't, it was just all
but
right.
if he can get that 74-yard touchdown
that's
again,
true.
what's going to happen?
That's true.
So I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I'm going with Louisville.
Okay, and lastly, we have Queen City at Las Vegas. Poor Las Vegas,
Yeah,
losing their star quarterback.
Oh, no, I think they're taking it pretty hard. I'm going to go with Queen City.
I wanted to go with Queen City. They've been struggling lately. However, with Las Vegas losing Michael O'Connor,
And their whole offense was around O'Connor.
but I don't think they're completely out though.
I don't think so either. I just
but
think
I
they got to
don't
find
think
their footing first.
exactly. I don't think the week after the loss is going to be that great. I think they're going to have to find their way and play some games and find out how it's going to work. And in the end, they'll do well. And that has been our picks for week 7.
Week 7.
Welcome to the Blurry with the Moment of the Week. Oh, there seems to be an injury on the field. It is Michael wait. This is Blake Griffin? For some odd reason, I seem to be mesmerized. I seem to feel like I want to buy a Kia? Well, I guess we'll just roll with this. So, from the producers of The Hangover, one birthday song, 47 lost bikini tops, 11 helicopters, 335 arrests, 2,500,000 in damage, and it's only 11:30. Project, and we're back. But wait, there was an injury. An injury? Mr. Irvine, there was an injury. Injury on the field. That's better. And the injury report shows Mr. O'Connor out for 12 weeks with broken ribs. And that has been your What the Moment of the Week, brought to you by Mr. Cameron Irvine.
WFL fans, check out our other forms of league media with the WFL Pulse on Blog Talk Radio every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Central with Cameron Irvine and Chet You Betcha hosting a competitive banner like no one else can provide. The Ace Report podcast is available for download every Monday with host Ace Whirls. Ace breaks down the week that was in the WFL and gives us credit where credit is due. Inside the WFL podcast is available for download every Tuesday with host Ronnie Nickens. Nickens will dig deep inside the next week's slated games and look back at weeks past. Also, WFL YouTube has you covered with highlights, top 10 plays, and of course, WFL Update, which is new every Wednesday. And that does it for us this week. From our WFL Update studios in Orlando, Florida, I am your host, Kyle Walsh. Enjoy all this week's games.
Check back to WFL on YouTube for game-by-game highlights and analysis. Watch every game live on the WFL network at www.justin.tv/WFLfootball. And visit the website daily for new articles, podcasts, and more at www.wflfootball.com. Can't watch the games? Follow the scores, point by point, big play by big play, on the WFL Twitter at www.twitter.com/WFLfootball.